Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today. Yes, with the new arrival of BITE Beauty's new lipstick formula. Amuse Bouche is no more, sadly. And now we have the Power Moved Soft Matte Lipsticks. They're here, for good or for bad. So I have a lot of the old Amuse Bouche lipsticks. Somebody said that they hold up better if they're in the refrigerator, and so far it is proving to be true. Yes, I put it in the refrigerator because I love this formula, and once I knew they were leaving, yeah, it was my favorite company. We'll just put it that way. Absolutely. And so I did a little bit of research, and because look, what ended up happening was they ended up removing it for quite a while. It was off the market for like 2 some odd years. They just removed it. And I'm sure part of it, the delayed the release was probably because of the pandemic as well, so they weren't able to get it out as quickly as maybe they had wanted. I'm not really sure. I don't work for the company. I don't know. But they take the most beloved and coveted lipstick, not for everyone, but for many people, off the market to improve it. Yes, now I don't know why this is. I don't know why, as I said in a different video, why they didn't just create a separate line. It would have made sense to do, and we have our vegan line, and then keep the Amuse Bouche that everyone loved, and then create a separate line. Somebody also, or several people had mentioned that it was sold. Originally it was a Canadian company, and it was sold to Kendo, which sometimes has been notorious for causing some issues within companies. Originally, BITE Beauty wanted to be very focused on clean makeup, clean lipstick. And I was wondering why the brand kind of changed. They're putting out mascara, they're putting out cheek products, which really is not BITE Beauty. It's just, even the name BITE Beauty, it's cute. It's about biting things. Lipstick, it's lipstick. And I just really feel like they kind of lost their way. So, the reformulated lipsticks were finally released a couple days ago. I used some of my gift certificates for Sephora. They're, to buy these, they're $28 a piece, $28. And so I said, okay, I don't want to necessarily pay cash, so I'm going to do it from my gift certificate. Thus, this came. So here it is. Yeah. So I ended up buying 2 because if I didn't like the formula, I mean, they're kind of expensive. I didn't want to put more into it. But let's try it first. Let's try it first before I have any more opinions on this, because that's the fair thing to do. They kept the packaging the same. So this is what it looks like with the color at the top, the same old kind of design, which I appreciate. I'm not going to confuse these though. So it is actually the same type of lid too. Interesting. So this is the original, and this is the new one. So they put BITE on the side instead, and then the color at the bottom, and this one just has Beetroot at the bottom. Ta-da! Yeah, so same kind of lid. You just know because of the BITE on the side. There it is. Boop. So also, I'm going to put this here because I don't want to mix them up. It looks like this has changed a little bit. This is darker. Ooh. So, yeah, you got to tug. So this one's black and this one's silver. And it's interesting because this one, I don't know, this one, okay. To be fair, one is a matte and one is not. So this is the original Amuse Bouche formula and this is matte. So we're not going to, they're very different. So this has a bee on it. This had a bee on it as well. Still does. Kind of identical that way. There you go. But you can see matte, non-matte, fully same color with the lipstick. This one's more silver with the case being the same. So just slight changes. There's that lovely lemonade scent that I so love and miss versus it has a very light vanilla scent. It took a minute to find it, but it's indeed there. Again, matte is going to be very different than satin, so this is going to be an interesting wear test because they're 2 different formulas, but whatever. So this is the original Beetroot. Let me just put this, I'm going to set this here so I won't mix them up, trust me. So this is the original Beetroot. that we all know and love right there. God, I love this color. I love this color. I love this color. I love this color. So that's what the original looks like. Very creamy, just supple. I love it. Now this is the new Beetroot. I can already tell a difference. Yeah, in the way that it works. So it's a little bit lighter. Is that right? It looks a little bit lighter. Maybe not. Part of it is because this is a lot thicker up there. So maybe it is the same. It's pretty darn close. But you can see already that the top one is thicker. The top is thicker and the bottom one, which is the new formula, is a lot thinner. You can see that right there. I could feel the difference also. With the old Amuse Bouche formula, when I would put it on, it was almost best to put it on your lip and let it melt for a second and then put it on, and it would just go nicely into the skin. But there was always a little bit of a tug with some of the colors, just a little bit. That's why I would warm it up first, you know, pull one of these and let it sit on my lip for a few seconds and then go, especially with these darker colors. With this, it went straight on. It just went straight on. I could feel it on my skin, no tug, just went. So, oops, I just got it on my finger. So this stuff is gonna stain. So what I'm gonna do is go to the old formula that you all know and love. Rest in peace. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one on first. Okay, very weird, I know. Very weird because, you know, we're doing half a lip here, but that's okay. We're testing something. Oh, that flavor. I love this formula. I love the scent. I love everything about this formula. I love everything about it. So, but let's try this new one. You can definitely smell the lemonade scent still there, glorious. And now let's put on this one. All right, I have them both on. So again, this is the Amuse Bouche Beetroot, the original formula, or the last formula before it was discontinued. And then this is the new Power Move Soft Matte Beetroot right here. So looking at it, I can tell a difference already. The original formula, the Amuse Bouche, has a lot more coverage to it. I hope that that is showing. Let me move up a little closer and I can zoom in. It's a lot thicker. This one's a lot thicker and it has a lot more pigment to it, which maybe for some it's a little bit heavier. The formula's a little bit heavier. I can see how somebody could say that versus this one, which is very light. It feels very light. I noticed the original formula a little bit more if I'm thinking about it. Like during the day I wouldn't think about it, but because I have two different formulas, I can feel this one a lot better than this one. I don't really feel this one on my lips. So I will say for matte, it's very comfortable at this point. I just put it on. But I'm gonna say I'm a little bit disappointed in the pigment. It looks like a washed out version of this. So it looks like, here's the original. It looks like, this looks like I've been wearing the original for 3 or 4 hours and it's faded away. The pigment isn't as defined as the Amuse Bouche. It's just not. The pigment is not fully there. So here you can see with the original, and I was saying how it's a lot thicker on top, that is the case. It's a lot thicker. And then this one looks patchy. It looks patchy. So with this, I only need to put one coat on. I did go back again just to fill, not fill in the spots, it filled in the spots, but just to correct it a little bit. And then I had to put this on a couple times just to get this much on there. So what I want to do is just fill it in a little bit more. I just want to see if maybe I swipe it a few more times, it becomes a little bit more opaque. And it does. So it's definitely matte. You can tell the other one's not. But yeah, to get it to the same, you know, the same opaque style of the original, I had to go in there a couple times. So you're going to go through the lipstick a lot quicker. because it takes 3 or 4 swipes to become opaque. Again, still feels really light. I appreciate that. It does have less tug than the original. Like I said, the original is very thick. It's a thicker formula, so warm it up, put it on the lip. I didn't do as much as I normally do, but it's so smooth and creamy, and once it's on, it's just glorious. But again, it is a thicker feel, so I can indeed feel it more than this side. That being said, this side's not as creamy. I'd expect that with a matte, but it's definitely not as creamy. It's definitely not as moisturizing, and there you have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check in a few times during the day, and I'm going to tell you how it's wearing. If it wears off in about an hour or two, I'm going to let you know, and then this experiment will be done. There's no way in heck this is going to last 8 hours. I haven't eaten yet. I want to eat. I want to drink. I want to see how it holds up during this stuff, because I know how this holds up, and it stains, and this is going to stain. Now, I also have another lipstick color, but I'm not going to put that on till afterwards. I'll go ahead and swatch it for people later, but the experiment is on, so I will not. But this is Pluot, P-L-U-O-T, Pluot. That's how I'd say it in French, but I don't think it is French. Maybe it is. Maybe I'll do some research in between. But it's this beautiful mauve color. I just really love mauve colors. And again, it has that vanilla scent. It has a vanilla scent, but it's just, you can definitely smell the formula of the lipstick underneath it, and the vanilla's covering it, which maybe it's that way with most lipsticks. So I don't want to like rip it apart. Let me smell the original. Yeah, you can a little bit. I just feel that this scent is a little bit, I enjoy the scent a little bit more, but that's just me. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to let this experiment roll, and I'll be checking back in, you know, every couple hours, unless the experiment ends early because one of the two gives in. Okay, so I am checking in. It's been about 2 hours. I've had a little bit of drinks, an iced coffee, but I'm drinking through a straw, so it really doesn't affect anything too much. I'm going to be eating here soon, but I wanted to show what it was like, because some people, you know, they don't eat and drink for a while and they want to see how it wears. I've been talking to people, been wandering around, doing what I do, and they're basically both still on there. You know, no complaints. It's still exactly the same. I did take some pictures, and I will say that the matte side, the new formula, is starting to collect at my lips. I don't even have chapped lips right now. I don't, but it feels like it with this. Or no, it doesn't feel like it, but when you look at the picture, you can see that it's starting to cling onto dry spots that I wasn't even aware that I had, which is kind of strange. I saw it in the picture and I went, oh, okay. But the lip wear, you know, it's fine. They're both still on really well, but just know that it's starting to collect into dry areas I didn't know I had. Maybe it's helping create it. I don't know. But to be fair, it is a matte formula versus a creamy formula, so there's really no comparison there. As far as feel, now most people when they wear lipstick don't think about how it feels unless it's just really bad. You know, you're like, oh, or it's a really matte lipstick, like liquid matte, and you're like, oh, just get this off. You're not going to really notice, but because I'm testing it, I do feel a slight difference. I actually feel this one less, the original one, because it's so moisturizing. It just feels really comfortable. When you first put it on, it can be a little bit heavy, but then it sinks into the lips a little bit more, versus this one where I feel the matte a little bit more on it. I'm a little bit more aware of it, but it's not distracting. It's comfortable, so no complaints about that. Again, 2 different formulas. Also, my chemistry could be very different than your chemistry. So I'm going to be eating here soon. I'll probably check in another couple hours. The lighting will probably be horrifying, but because there's a south-facing window, so it gets really bright at certain times of day, but that's all right. It's not a south-facing, it's a west. It's a west-facing window, and it gets really bright. Yeah, I'm one of the only apartments in New York City that gets sunlight. Okay, so it's been about 8 hours of wear time on this, and so here's the thing about me. I tend to eat very carefully when I'm wearing lipstick, so it's like little bites and things, trying to avoid hitting the lips because I don't want to put on lipstick over and over and over. I've been, you know, eating, drinking, water, coffee, you know, things like that. Nothing like pasta or soups or anything like that, which would make this wear off quicker. That is for sure. So 8 hours of just living my life I'm probably showing it now. I have oily skin and it's been a long day. So yeah, so this is what the lips look like. Again, for a refresher, the original formula, Amuse Bouche, is on this side, and on this side is the new Power Move matte lipstick from BITE Beauty. And looking at it, you can see they both have they've both disappeared in the middle, especially at the bottom lip right here. And at this point, this color is darker, the new finish, compared to the old one, which is worn away. So yeah, it is definitely worn away faster, especially right here, than it did on this side. And I'm just looking at this, and on the inside, of course, with this, especially on the lower lip, you can totally see it. But I mean, they both wore down rather nicely. It's just you can see this bald spot right here with the original formula. But still, it looks really good. It's still really wearable. I mean, nobody would clock it too much except for maybe that one spot. But for the most part, 8 hours wear, I'm pretty impressed by both. Again, didn't eat anything sloppy like salad that has oils or anything on it. Now, at the 2 hour mark, I checked in briefly, and the issue is still there with the drying. So with the new formula, it has gotten darker. Well, it's darker than here anyway because of the wearing off, but on the inside, it has caked on a little bit. So my lips aren't dry, but it kind of caused my lips to become dry, the new formula, and then the pigment clung onto those patches. It's not that way on the other lip. So no, it's not that I have dry lips or anything. That's not the case. So that there's no issue there, and I'm double checking. Nope, no issue. Absolutely no dry spots. I can feel the dry spots right there. So I do want to say that it is a matte formula, and matte formulas tend to do that. So that could be many different formulas. Now, the differences. So on this side, with the original formula, it's really moisturizing. They claim this one is just as moisturizing, but I still think the original is much more moisturizing. It feels good. When I put it on, it has a heavier feeling, but it started to wear away, and it just feels really comfortable and light now, and so moisturizing. It just feels good. I wasn't as aware of this side as I was with the new formula. You could definitely feel it. For a matte though, it is more comfortable than some other matte lipsticks I've worn. I'm aware of it a little bit because I'm looking for it. If I wasn't looking for it, I would feel as if my lips were dry. And they do feel a little bit dry, not like a vice grip or anything, just a tad bit dry where maybe I would want to put on some chapstick or something. That's what it feels like. Very little. But this side feels really comfortable. The smell is dissipated. I can barely smell this side ever. It really has a really faint vanilla scent, while this side has that beautiful, I love that lemonade scent. I love that. So neither of them had that, but what's interesting is if I lick my lips, I can still taste the Amuse Bouche side. I can still taste that wonderful taste that I love, With this one, there's absolutely no taste, but it just feels dry. So you're not going to get the same delicious creaminess of the Amuse Bouche, if that makes sense. Not that you're going to be eating your lipstick, at least I hope not, but you know, if you lick your lips, you're going to taste it. You can't taste it on this side, you can with this. It's also very dry to the touch. So there you go. But the wear time on this one was better, but I'd expect that from a matte lipstick in comparison to a creamy formula. But they both look really good for the most part. I mean, there could be a touch-up, but 8 hours, I'm really not going to complain, you know. A little bit of a bobble. This moved a little bit, but that's because, you know, it's hard to keep red in place unless you have liner, and I didn't. So I'm just going to leave it as is. So yeah. So there you go. I'm sure, you know, it makes a big difference for some people. It does, but it does last. So what are my thoughts on the new formula? You know, it's hard to really talk about this new formula because it's not the same. You know, one is a matte and you're comparing that to a creamy formula, which really isn't very fair. But what I can say is that I do not feel, besides the packaging, and the B on the lipstick, it doesn't seem like the same BITE Beauty to me at all. It really doesn't. It just doesn't seem like the same company. Their signature scent is gone. I mean, that's what they were known for. Whether you like it or don't like it, that's what it was known for. So they removed their signature scent and added a generic vanilla that most companies use, and it's very faint. It's not even that amazing of a vanilla, to be honest of you. Or to be honest of you. To be honest. So there's that. I don't understand why they went with mattes, because a lot of people are kind of tired of mattes, and so it was a strange option in my opinion. But okay, but that's also a personal preference. But I did some research with the ingredients, and again, I'll put them to the side. Oh gosh. So if you look at the Amuse Bouche formula, just looking at the first 10 or 11 ingredients, you'll see most of it is actually natural. Now, I am not a chemist, I am not a scientist, I don't know a lot about this stuff, so I'm not going to break it down because frankly, I can't. I did some research, just Googled these things briefly, so again, I'm not the person to speak to. I'm more of an artistic person. I am not one to be talking about chemistry, okay? But a quick Google search showed, of course, there's like seed oil, there's beeswax, there's these, a lot of different oils. And that's what I loved about the last one, was it was very moisturizing, and I felt really good about wearing it. You know, there's probably still a couple products further down that may be like, ooh, not clean. I'm not really a big fan of the clean beauty, to be honest. I think it's a little bit overblown and people are exaggerating it a bit, but I think we're taking it too far, just a little too far. And I think it's a trend that eventually will end, to be honest, because there has to be a balance. But that's just me. Okay. Most of the ingredients for the most part are natural, like oils from plants or seeds. And then there's a few things listed that are for joining things together. It's like not an emollient. I can't even speak right now, but it's basically a binder so they connect to your lips. That is basically what some of the other products are listed in the top 10. Of course, the first product listed is going to be the thing that's mostly in it. So there you go. And the second is like seed oil or whatever, because I don't have it right with me. Now, if you look at the new formula, you will see in the original, there was a lot of words like seed, beeswax, things that you recognized, you know, a lot of things that you would recognize in nature. Here's the list for the new, it's not Amuse Bouche, it is Power Move matte lipstick. None of these things are natural except for the water. Water is number one, which is great. You need it. It's like water. We love water. But the rest of it are things that are also binders to make the products work together and bind to the lip, these different things. But there's also 3 or 4 listings for silicone. So they went from the original formula, Amuse Bouche, which didn't have any silicone in it that I could find, or if it did, it was lower down in the list. But 3 or 4 ingredients of the first 10 to 11 ingredients of the reformulation is silicone. Now, silicone, some people think it's the devil, some people don't. You know, it just depends. But look at the ingredient list. I would say that, to me, in my opinion, and I don't know anything about chemistry, just the basics. Silicone to me is less, it's less natural, less clean than seed oil and beeswax. So I'm a little bit confused about the clean beauty, because I feel like the old formula truly was clean beauty. You can taste it still. I can still taste it. It's just sweet and great. It's just, it pains me. It pains me. Is it a bad lipstick? No, it is not. It absolutely is not. It is $28 for this new line for clean beauty. But for me, the old ones were cleaner and they were $2 cheaper. So and it had better ingredients in it. So I'm a little bit confused. I can honestly say, in my opinion, I think some of the best matte lipsticks like this, the Soft Touch, which is very popular right now, MAC is better hands down. And I have MAC and I have this, and maybe I'll do a wear test with some of the MAC versus the new formula here. But honestly, I feel as if, I feel that MAC is a better product, and it has a better vanilla scent to it, frankly. It does. Yeah. So we didn't need this formula. We had the MAC formula. You know, what we needed was the Amuse Bouche. It was beyond its time. When Clean started rolling in the beginning, it was beyond its time. It was such a great lipstick. It was my hands down #1 lipstick, and they removed it. You know, it's gone, and I just don't understand why a company would do this to themselves. And I just want a fair review of this, and this is my opinion. Other people may shoot this down. I've read reviews online. There was some on BITE Beauty and on Sephora, and the negative ones were removed immediately. I noticed that because I started looking when they first released. Both Sephora and BITE Beauty removed the negative reviews. Now, I don't like that. I have a hard time with that because people have a right to write what they want. So that kind of was strange to me, but Sephora is known for doing this. Another thing on Sephora, you'll see that there's a lot of people getting free product. So it says this review is from somebody who got it for free, 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 free. So all these great new reviews are because they were giving something for free. I have a problem with that. It's the reason why Amazon's gone down the toilet in many ways, is because there's a lot of reviews that are bought for free product or just bought in general. That's not necessarily what's happening here, but I have a background in psychology. The thing is, if you give somebody something for free, they are more likely going to give it a positive review or enjoy it more because they didn't have to pay for it. And that's what I am wary of when I see that. I wish there was a way to remove that in the filter so I didn't have to see any reviews from people who get freebies, because it can really skew the statistics of the reviews. It's not an experiment, so we can't say this. It's not an experiment, but it skews it to me. It really skews the ratings. The original formula, Amuse Bouche, was just amazing. They were ahead of their time. It was just a beautiful product. I have not found any lipstick like it. I wish I could find it. If anyone knows a formula similar, please put it down below, because all-time favorite lipstick. You can check all my videos before. I bought every single new product they put out. I was hands down one of the biggest supporters of BITE. I would have bought their whole line. I put hundreds of dollars into it. Frankly, I do not see myself doing that in the future and supporting them as much, because there's been a huge outcry, and I just feel like whoever took over, and I think it's Kendo, whoever was in charge of this company basically destroyed the whole purpose of why the company was made. They're taking steps backwards. They really are. It just makes no sense. They're basically tanking this brand, and I feel like unless they bring back the original Amuse Bouche and then keep the line separate, I really feel, have the vegan line, just have it separate. Have your Power Move line or whatever. Go for it. But bring back the Amuse Bouche. That's why people loved you. And this, there are some people who will enjoy this, but the people who are diehard fans of the old formula are going to be highly disappointed. Would I give it another shot if it was 50% off? Yeah, if they do a 50% off sale, sure, I will pick up your lipstick. Not the whole line like I used to. I used to have the whole line. Well, not all, but the minis I did. But, you know, I had a bunch, and I always bought the limited edition. I was right there. With this, I wouldn't. I have two. That's enough. And with that being said, so what I want to do is show the other color that I got. I said I would, and I'm a woman of my word. So let's do this. Okay, so they both stain beautifully. They're still there. It's red. If you're wearing a red lipstick, you're going to be walking around with this. So yeah, it is what it is. So this is the other one, Pure. I don't know how they say it. I have no clue. Maybe I'll put it to the side and say what it is, because I have no clue what it means. I speak some French, but I don't know. Again, the vanilla scent. This one doesn't have as much of a vanilla scent. No, it's very light, and it just smells like Play-Doh. So now here we go. hard to tell. It's supposed to be like a mauve color, so I'm going to put it on a section right there, just because it's kind of not fair, because I think the red is peeking out underneath. So no, it is a reddy mauve like that. It's a reddy mauve, and you can see the swatch is really dry. So it does cover, it just doesn't cover as well as the old Amuse Bouche does. You can see there, look how thin it is. It's just, there's all these bald patches in it. I don't know. It's just, it's dry. It doesn't go on as smoothly, and you had to build it up. With the Amuse Bouche, you just throw it on, the old one. But with this one, you really need to put it on over and over for the color to appear, like 2 or 3 times. There you go. Rather than the one time with the old formula. So yeah, you're gonna get through it faster. With the new chemicals being added to, well, there's chemicals and everything, but with the new formula, I'm curious to see how long these last. I don't think they will go badly as fast as the old ones, because they had actual more natural products. All the natural products for the new formula are at the bottom. So I have a feeling these will probably last a lot longer, but don't quote me on that. I don't know. It's a pretty color. It's okay. Much like the rest of the line, it's okay. They didn't come out and bring in any innovative colors like they did in the past. Actually, if you look at most of the new lipsticks, they all land between like purple, pink, red, purplish pink, and pink. But if you look at the swatches, they all look the same. It's pretty boring. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. So I'm not trying to be negative. Sorry if I brought anyone down or people are disappointed. I just want to be honest as somebody who's reviewing it and how I feel about it. And it's a good product, but it isn't BITE Beauty. It's a completely different brand now to me. So yeah, so that is my review. Let me know what you think. Am I being a negative Nelly? Am I on the mark? Everybody has different opinions. Keep it civil. Let's live in a world where people, you know, are nice to each other. That's what we should have learned from the pandemic, right? So anyway, that is my review for today. Let me know what you think below. And until next time, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.